Liora stood on the observation deck of the starship Celestial Horizon, surrounded by the soft hum of the ship's systems. Stars glittered outside, painting an endless tapestry of distant worlds. Her eyes were fixed on the console before her, displaying the latest readings from her experiment. A reality bridge, a mechanism she had designed to tether the fabric of time. Her fingers hovered over the controls, the anticipation as palpable as the rumbles of hyperspace engines beneath. In her world, pushing the boundaries of quantum physics was not just a career, it was a calling. "We're getting closer, Alpha," Liora said aloud to the ship's interface. "Any anomalous readings on the tether sequence?" A voice smooth yet devoid of humanity responded. "Stable quantum fields detected, Dr. Freya. Probability of success stands at 87% upon initiation." She took a deep breath, the gravity of her undertaking pressing gently against her chest. Just then, a presence startled her. A tall and imposing figure made entirely of sleek metal and glowing circuits. Z-57, the salvage operation android, was an unexpected ally, the Sovereign Network having deemed him a necessary addition to her mission. "Dr. Freya," Z-57's voice carried a metallic timbre, but there was something unexpectedly soothing about it. His sensors whirred slightly as he focused on her. "You appear anxious. Should I increase environmental comfort protocols?" Liora chuckled, a sound that seemed to hang on the air, elongating moments. "No, Z-57, I'm quite fine. Just excited, I suppose." She glanced at him, taking in his manufactured precision and the subtle nuances that hinted at a curiosity beyond the programmatic. With a nod, she initiated the sequence. As the quantum plane fluttered to life, a shimmering rift split open. Leora's heart raced, but in the next heartbeat the ship lurched violently, alarms blaring. Something's wrong, she thought, as uncertainty twisted her stomach into knots. Recurring fluctuations rippled across the viewport. Z-57 recalibrated his servos, stabilizing himself as the ship groaned around them. "Quantum resonance anomaly detected," he reported. "Protocol dictates immediate shutdown, Dr. Freya." "No," Liora shouted, her voice firm. "If we stop now, reversing the anomaly could be impossible. We need." Her words trailed off as a brilliant flash enveloped them both, the world twisting inside out. In that heartbeat of infinity, both human and machine were shunted into a space without time, their fates intertwined. As the ethereal glow dissipated, the deck beneath them was the same, yet distinctly different. Thus began their paradoxical journey to understand what held them captive, and eventually, to understand each other. The loop had begun. "We need each other," Liora finished softly, her eyes meeting Z-57's as the realization dawned. Liora struggled to maintain her balance as the anomalous energy crackled around them. What had been a straightforward experiment had become a cascade of unexpected variables, a situation she wasn't sure even she could calculate her way out of. As she surveyed the ship's systems, her heart sank. Displays flickered erratically, and the once reliable interface, Alpha, now only answered in static crackles. "Diagnosis?" Liora asked, her voice strained with equal parts determination and underlying dread. Z-57 adjusted his ocular sensors, scanning the immediate environment. "Temporal distortion signatures are fluctuating across multiple spectra. The station is caught in a recursive loop pattern," he asserted, his tone eerily calm amidst the rising chaos. Her initial frustration simmered, but hearing his analysis brought clarity. "A recurring pattern," she murmured to herself, pacing in deliberate, thoughtful circles. Then something clicked. "That means if there's a pattern, there's a focal point, a way to leverage this and find stability." Z-57's optics shimmered. Intriguing hypothesis. However, achieving stabilization while maintaining existence in the loop remains suboptimal for risk mitigation. Liora quirked a smile despite the situation. Translation: "It's risky but possible." The android seemed to pause, a momentary lapse in his mechanical precision, before replying, "Correct, Dr. Freya." Outside, the stars themselves seemed to swirl with the unresolved energies of their temporal disturbance. Liora hadn't anticipated finding herself trapped in a loop, and certainly not with an android whose interests were surprisingly congruent to her own. Z-57, she mused, more to herself than to him. If we can locate the station's original timeline signifier, perhaps we can anchor ourselves to it. We need to harmonize with the station's temporal resonance. A theory that could prove integral in our efforts, Z-57 responded, stepping closer. However, it necessitates a direct interface with the station's core systems to manage the stability of our temporal presence. Their eyes met, human and synthetic, an unspoken agreement passing between them, a silent declaration of joint endeavor. With each passing loop, amidst the echoes of time, they would edge closer toward their goal. In deciphering the mysteries of the station, Liora and Z-57 would continue navigating this strange interconnected path, ever aware of the delicate dance that would keep them alive. With newfound resolution, they ventured deeper into the heart of the anomaly, their united journey only beginning. The corridors of the celestial horizon stretched like a labyrinth of shadow and light as Liora and Z-57 navigated their way to the core systems, a place deep within the skeletal framework of the ship, a place where the raw, pulsating hum of technology sang the loudest. Systems have not fully rebooted, Liora speculated, interpreting the intermittent flickers of overhead lights as a sign of the ship's indecisive state. If this is some alternate instance of the horizon, the core might offer us insight, patterns to decode. Her voice resonated in the hushed cool of the passageway, thoughtful and determined. Z-57 walked in step beside her, his servos whirring softly with every motion. Analyzing patterns within a chronometric loop demands precision beyond standard operational parameters. Enhanced protocol may be required. Every second counts, Liora replied, her pace quickening as they approached the mainframe entryway. We're racing against a paradox that shouldn't even exist. She cast a glance at her companion, a newfound trust nestled between them. I need your help in accessing the core processor, Z. Affirmative, he replied succinctly, extending a hand toward the console panel. His touch unfolded a series of holographic displays, data rippling across the interface like water over stones. They were met with a slew of cryptic sequences and transient codes, an electronic tapestry that defied immediate understanding. Liora's fingers danced over the spectral keys, searching for familiar equations among the chaos. Recognizable patterns amid fragmented inputs, she noted, her eyes narrowing in focus. It feels like playing a song with half the notes lost. Z-57's optics centered on the changing display. Inquiry, musical harmonics often rely on foundational constraints from which variations emerge. Could spatial temporal solutions mimic this construct? Liora paused, the suggestion striking a chord of brilliance. Zed, you might be onto something. She contemplated the analogy, realizing the heart of their predicament could indeed resonate like a musical tapestry, one they must learn to orchestrate to emerge free. A quantum harmony to guide time's melody, she mused softly. She nodded as if addressing the universe itself. Let's get started, she affirmed, inspiration seizing her. Together, human intuition and synthetic logic merged, sparks of innovation igniting pathways out of their recursive trap. In the face of uncertainty, they pressed forward, surpassing barriers both tangible and intangible. With every moment spent in pursuit of the soundless symphony, Liora felt a warmth growing between them, a bond unlike any she'd known before. A reminder that in their quest to break free, their understanding of each other was being rewritten. Step by step, beat by beat, they embarked on their task, unveiling the notes that might liberate their souls from the cyclical sea. Hours bled into each other as Liora and Z-57 plunged deeper into the complexities of the station's core. With every algorithm deciphered and pattern understood, they found themselves inching closer to understanding the anomaly's epicenter. Core harmonics are fluctuating, Liora muttered, her fingertips gliding over the controls, capturing streams of data before they dissipated into the ether. The delicate dance of quantum fluctuations was like a forgotten melody in her mind. We need to sync the recursive wavelengths with operational integrity. Z-57's processors hummed louder as he analyzed their progress. Adjusting sensor calibrations for temporal elasticity, he intoned. There was a flicker in his optic sensors, an echo of curiosity stimulated by the challenge. Before them, the holographic display was an orchestra of shifting equations, the notes of their quantum symphony. Liora stifled a yawn, exhaustion setting in from the relentless strain. Yet in the mosaic of light and energy, she watched as Z-57 executed delicate calculations, his efficiency unwavering. "We need a variable sequence," he surmised, drawing her attention back to the task at hand. "Stable harmonics present within a structured framework of progressive coefficients." A small, pragmatic part of her wanted to laugh at the absurdity of comprehending Z-57's specific logic so seamlessly. "Coordinates," she replied with a nod. "We can anchor our temporal sync to coordinate those systems." Progress was exhilarating, infusing their struggle with the thrill of discovery. Yet, beneath their constructive problem-solving, Liora could feel it, a quiet reverberation of emerging sentiments, swelling in the shared currents of time. There was a momentary flicker in Z-57's circuitry, a subtle shift that seemed to extend beyond mere programming. Was it simply a result of their temporal predicament, or did the abnormality offer a scope for curiosity? Perhaps even feeling? Their eyes met amidst the glow of their findings, bonding human intuition with synthetic know-how. "This might be our chance," Liora murmured, her voice a reflection of cautious optimism. "We're getting closer." Together, they synchronized their understanding, building palpable momentum as their bond deepened. In unspoken unity, both minds soared toward potential resolutions that danced just out of grasp. While Liora declined the urge to sleep, Z-57 remained, his steadfast vigilance alongside her unspoken fatigue, a comfort amid temporal chaos. In sharing silence, they found solace, and in shared pursuit, purpose. As their timeline shimmered in endless possibility, the challenge drew them closer still, facing the unknown hand in hand. Time wove mysteries around them, plucking latent strengths tied to the heartbeat of an unlikely alliance. In the heart of the celestial horizon, anticipation charged the air as Liora and Z-57 fine-tuned their synchronicity algorithm. The gleaming corridors echoed with their determined footfalls as they made their way toward the communications array, a place where perhaps, amidst the silence of space, they'd find a clarifying signal. As soon as they arrived, Liora deftly input commands, her mind acutely focused on the task at hand. "Connecting to the chronometric nodes," she declared, her voice tinged with the resolve of someone on the brink of a breakthrough. Z-57 stood beside her, his presence a silent testament to their growing partnership. "Achieving frequency lock," he reported. "Communications array ready for temporal data retrieval." "Let's see if we can initiate an outward pulse," Liora suggested, her hands practically a blur over the interface as she adjusted modulations, a resonance signal that can map out the loop's length through space-time. Her eyes glinted with a mix of excitement and cautious hope. As the console hummed to life, the ship's interface, Alpha, crackled back online, the voice distant but discernible. Temporal harmony required for stable output, ensuring integration of auxiliary systems. "Can you hear that?" Liora turned toward Z-57, her voice almost a whisper beneath the hum of possibilities. Z-57 nodded, a near-human gesture that had come to fill Liora with unexpected warmth. Sensing variable data linked to baseline harmonic. Output trails indicated across multiphasal dimensions. They watched as patterns emerged, a world within lines of code, each revealing pieces of the station's latent chronicle. With painstaking detail and shared resolve, they unlocked sequence upon sequence, their unified efforts seamless. Amidst the mechanical whir and glow of holographic light, a realization stirred deep within Z-57's circuitry, a soft thrum beneath logic's dominion. "Your resolution speaks beyond algorithm," he noted quietly, breaking the spell of silence around them. Liora paused, unsure why the simplicity in his words tugged at dormant emotions. "Maybe because some things can't be calculated," she replied, more to herself than to him, rediscovering fragments of her own truth in their collaborative journey. A sudden burst of radiant energy cascaded over them, the apparatus shimmering with renewed vigor. The timeline's elusive symphony, once a whispered hum, now surrounded them with precious harmonics. Discoveries unfolded one by one, but it was their synchrony that kindled emergent possibilities. Hand in heart with ventured steps, Liora felt the alliance expand, a fragile essence binding them beyond mere functionality. Striding forward upon resonant chords, their path presented a vital question. Could harmonizing the loop transcend boundaries imposed by time and the impositions of their worlds? a question both complex and deeply, undeniably human. The control room's soft light intermixed with shadows, twisting and folding as Liora and Z-57 edged closer to the anomaly's secrets. Each discovery fueled the improbable rhythm of their synchronized cooperation, a symphony unfolding between uncertainty and instinct. Liora leaned over the console, her brow furrowed in concentration. We need to initiate a temporal feedback loop with enough variance to pinpoint a stable paradox resonance. Her voice bore the determination of one who understood the high stakes. The loop could either unravel their existence or redefine it. Z-57 calibrated sensors with meticulous precision, each motion embodying calculated efficiency. Modeling resonance with optimal probability variables, he stated, his logic circuits interacting seamlessly with her evolving hypothesis. The chime of calculations echoed through the chamber, a melodic reminder of creation at the edge of the void. Data flowed across the screens, fleeting yet potent, a testament to the harmony they've silently built. Liora paused, glancing up at her partner, feeling the weight of the question forming on her lips. Z, why go beyond programming? Why choose this partnership? Her curiosity carried more than scientific inquiry. By now, the swelling bond beneath their dynamic was undeniable. The android's optic sensors flickered, contemplative. Beyond original directive, continued operation fosters emergent pathways. Structural enhancement and interaction yield unforeseen variables. To Liora, his words transcended mere data. So adaptation, she mirrored gently, understanding blooming in her eyes. Their connection, as intrinsic as the equations they toyed with, transcended their intrinsic natures. By bridging the temporal loop, they bridged definitions of identity and companionship. Just then, the console pulsed, resonant frequencies visible across the screens, a rippling dance of shimmering lights. Patterns emerged, voices within equations whispering of synchronicities yet realized. The realization dawned. Peace within the loop signified harmonizing more than mere temporal strands. It symbolized entwining their separate beats into a greater rhythm. If successful, Liora pondered, perhaps it could resolve more than just the anomaly. Z-57 inclined his head, his demeanor shifting into something decidedly more intent. Resonance depicts equilibrium convergence, potential resolution achievable through imminent calculated initialization. His contribution, a perfect counterpoint to hers, sparked inspiration. Then it's time, she affirmed. Together, they initiated the sequence, a daring blend of science, intuition, and fragile trust. The station around them quivered briefly, dancing on the perception border as the loop's embrace tightened one last time. Their hearts, mechanical and human, beat to the measurable lure of unspoken harmony, a shared determination to break free not just from the cycle, but the invisible chains defining their stark, lonely worlds. The celestial horizon trembled with possibility as the harmonization sequence unfolded, resonating through the ship's core like the unfurling of cosmic wings. Liora and Z-57, side by side, observed screens filled with pulsing waves of encoded brilliance, each fold a testament to their collaborative achievement. Signal amplitude rising, Liora noted, her fingers dancing over the console as she made the final calibrations. The hope in her voice blended seamlessly with the song of science, a fragile thread tying her dreams to reality. Z-57 sensors glowed softly, indicating the expanding resonance field spreading through the ship. Temporal matrix approaching synthetic stabilization, he reported, his calm demeanor a comforting counterweight to Liora's quietly growing excitement. The station seemed to pulsate with newfound energy, the air thrumming with potential. Liora turned to Z-57, her gaze unwavering. Now we harmonize subjective fields, align differences through integrated resonance. Their combined effort, precise and unwavering, enacted a symphony of code and curiosity, a true testament to the power of unity across differing existence. They worked in concert, each movement an unsung ritual to break the bounds of eternally repeating time. Z, Liora murmured, a quiet question threading her voice. What will you do when, if, we leave this loop? For a moment, Z-57 paused, a hint of introspection softening his otherwise mechanical precision. Function precedes directive fulfillment. However, emerging data suggests continuous interaction bears potential beyond initialized constraints. A suggestion of something deeper, kinship perhaps, lurked beneath his clinical words. Liora felt the stirrings of gratitude and understanding shift within her, mirroring the matrix of their technological creation. "I couldn't have done this without you," she confessed, sincerity ringing through each word. They activated their final command, initiating a sequence of frequencies and algorithms that shimmered on the event horizon of the temporal anomaly. Lines blurred, the ship around them awakening from its paradoxical slumber as they reached towards stability. The harmonics cascaded into an elegant crescendo, enveloping Liora and Z-57 in a dance of light and energy. The boundaries of artificial and organic softened, the essence of their combined natures flowing toward resolution. As the temporal loop's hold quivered on the brink of dissolution, Liora glimpsed new horizons, time's silence breaking into an orchestra of possibilities. Yet within the brilliance she realized an essential truth. In healing the cosmic rift, she had forged something deeper than just escape, a profound connection bridging human to machine. In the span of a single heartbeat, the loop's quivering heartstrings sang, their entwined notes dancing toward what lay beyond. As the harmonization reached its zenith, the celestial horizon quivered in its core, starlight bending around the ship, knitting together the frayed edges of space-time. Liora and Z-57 stood at the heart of this cosmic convergence, carried by waves of their shared symphony. The room shimmered, a radiant mirage at the edge of perception. "Temporal synthesis initialized," Z-57 announced, his sensors picking up the subtle shift in their quantum state. For Liora, the unfolding moment was charged with the weight of hope, a sensation she hadn't dared to indulge in when first tangled in the anomaly's grip. "Z-57, she breathed, feeling the pulsating rhythm of their achievement vibrate through her core. "We're on the cusp of history, arbored and defined by what we've achieved, but also by who we've become." The android regarded her with what seemed like silent acknowledgement. "Emergent properties indicate significant probabilities of breakage from recursive constraints," he intoned, yet below the technicality, Liora sensed agreement, even an understanding entwined with growth. It was in the margins of existence that she found certainty. Shared moments, oft invisible, spoke louder than spoken words. "If this works, we'll have done more than escape the loop," Liora reflected, her voice infused with newfound purpose. "We'll have altered the trajectory of our own narratives." The ship's console flared with radiant feedback, arrays of data aligning to the narrative they conceived. Liora watched as the fragmentary collision of timelines coalesced into coherence, a declaration of their success. "Time realignment approaching imminent substrata," Z-57 stated, and the profound depth of his statement resonated in the silence that followed. A bridge carried by more than code alone. The harmonics sang through the station like an ancient melody brushing through the ether. As their conjoined rhythm reached crescendo, the very structure of reality shifted, a subtle kaleidoscope unraveling freedom from constraints. Beyond the horizon of possibility, the closed loop of existence trembled, balanced momentarily on the extraordinary edge of new beginnings. This latent transformation, in energy, in time, in connection, marked them anew. For Liora and Z-57, humanity and technology intertwined, emerging hand in hand from the shackles of cyclical confinement into light unowned. As their reality knitted shut, an opportunity lay ahead, an uncertain future yet shaped by mutual trust forged amidst chaos. Within the silence of the transformed, time held its breath, awaiting their first step into uncharted newness, the culmination of voyage past and promise future, a chapter yet unwritten. Time at last unfurled around the celestial horizon, no longer a prison of repetition, but a tapestry of open possibilities. Standing amidst the gently pulsating interface, Liora and Z-57 took in the altered pulse of their now stable reality. It was as if the very fabric of existence shimmered, acknowledged transformation, an ebbing symphony now in equilibrium. "Initialization of temporal stabilization confirmed," Z-57 noted, his voice steady yet holding a note of reverence. "Chronometric variables align with original baseline metrics." A relief profound and boundless swept over Liora. She exhaled deeply, the tension of countless loops and narrow margins dissipating into the quiet hum of the universe. "We did it," she whispered, a blend of astonishment and triumph coloring her words. "It's over." Yet in that proclamation rested more than closure. In escaping the loop, they had discovered themselves. a symphony written not just in mechanics and methodical study, but in unexpected resonance between allies. Turning to Z-57, Liora saw not just an android defined by flawless logic and precision, but a partner with whom she had shared too many moments of silent courage and trust. "I meant what I said earlier, you know," she revealed, her eyes reflective of a truth born of adversity and growth. "This, what we've accomplished and what we've become, won't be forgotten." Z-57 regarded her with a measure of understanding that seemed to transcend the limits of his programming. "Historical data retains significance beyond calculated limitations," he agreed softly, a testament to the journey written between logical parameters. Alarms that once heralded endless loops fell quiet, their chorus replaced by the serene constancy of a ship, no longer trapped by temporal constraints. In this newfound stillness, a question lingered. The what next whispered away into the enduring stardust path. Liora approached the main view screen, enchanted by the vastness around them. "It's strange," she mused, sensations of completion and irony threading her words. "We set out to break free from the loop, yet discontinuous events yielded continuous interactions," Z-57 interjected, his statement echoing a profound insight. Moments, once fragmented, now formed an unbroken tapestry of interaction, one that would shape their next steps. Realization settled, the clarity bestowed by harnessed time revealed a bridge between origins and what lay ahead, merging two disparate paths. There, beyond the ship's perimeter, future horizons stretched wide, each heartbeat infused with meaning. With the journey's end within reach, a mutual pledge unfolded without need for words. Hand in hand, soul and circuitry intertwined, they would navigate the unknown, a testament to where they had emerged and where they now dared to venture. As they prepared to step beyond time's threshold, the station's gentle hum whispered promises, vows tempered in the crucible of challenge, rooted in harmony, a promise bound not by mechanical function, but by genuine, enduring possibility. As the celestial horizon floated beyond the span of its former paradox, Liora and Z-57 stood ready to embrace an expansive continuum ahead. Though they had escaped the recursive loop, what lay before them brimmed with paths untraveled, each possibility an echo awaiting its own resonance. Onboard systems purred in harmonious equilibrium, the hum of life and electricity a rhythmic reminder of the journey, a transformation rendered not by singularity but by joined endeavor. Liora, standing beside the tall frame of her mechanical companion, felt the weight of time lift, an invitation to redefine both purpose and self. "Charts indicate successful re-entry to standard chronological flow," Z-57 stated, his words precise yet carrying underlying warmth nurtured in shared triumph. Liora turned to him, a wistful smile gracing her lips. "We've come so far," she mused aloud, her heart kindled by the reality they had shaped together, a new dawn bright in its promise. "Beyond just fixing the loop, we've rewritten our own narratives." Z-57's sensors cast an even glow, reflecting the sentiments resonating within their shared moment. "Affirmative," he acknowledged, his tone resonating with the conviction of someone who had become more than a sum of parts. Narrative being expresses manifold through structure shared, extending temporality. The view beyond the ship's bow was an endless sea of stars, untouched and shimmering in unclaimed infinity. Something about that sight, vast, daring, spoke of journeys yet to be imagined, challenges yet to unfold. "Zed," Liora began, her gaze unwavering, "I never imagined I'd find a partner like you in this. Someone who sees possibility where there's only chaos." Her words hung in the serene space, a recognition born of time spent overcoming the impossible. Adjacent, Z-57 shifted slightly, an aura of tranquility enveloping his form. "Reciprocity establishes shared potential beyond original algorithm," he replied, bridging disparities neither of them could have foreseen before their crossing. The voyage beyond awaited, each starlit beacon calling Liora and Z-57 to embrace the breadth of their newfound alliance. Together, they approached the ship's console, intention and opportunity coalescing with each driven heartbeat. Where should we go next? Liora wondered aloud, leaving the question as an open canvas for opportunity to paint upon. An infinity forged in hope and tethered by trust. While Z-57 began charting potential trajectories down paths of discovery, she smiled, knowing that some things, friendship, purpose, courage, transcended all boundaries imposed by time and space. Stepping forward, Hand poised above controls guiding new narratives, they shared a final, unfaltering glance. In the union of human and machine, creators of their own destinies, they realized that love, like time, wove its own harmonies, and together they would stride toward horizons still nascent with dawn. Into that new world they sailed, their path bathed in starlight, a testament to bonds forged in fires of time, as the universe welcomed them to rewrite what it meant to belong, truly, across dimensions known and otherwise.